Bomb. I'm lagging. I'm lagging as fuck, and I don't mean drunk. I mean like you motherfuckers might not even be able to hear me. So that's why we started a little bit late. I'm sorry, boys, but we're back. Another episode of Parlay Madness. JB and JB, the Lou and the Jew. You know how it goes. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Boom, boom. The boys are back in town. Banging tune, boys. And we are back. And we're going to cash some parlays. So I'm going to get straight into the card because we're already 15 minutes late here. As I say, I do apologize. Technical difficulties for me. My man Orville Redenbacher, my man was getting antsy. We was waiting too long. He was waiting, you know what I'm saying? But I'm here now. So yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Mike Oxlong, Amanda, JB, he's in the chat and he's in front of your screen. He's everywhere right now. JB, how are you doing, brother?
I'm good, bro. I'm doing really well. I'm excited to break down this card with you. It's the last card of the year. Then we'll get like a pretty good break. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy Hanukkah. And hopefully I can make you guys some Hanukkah money.
Yeah, let's go, man. There's never any break for a sports better. You know, we got MMA until the end of the year. We got the Rising card, we got the PFL cards, we got the Cage Warriors and all of that. But last UFC card of the year, and obviously UFC is the number one. So hopefully we can make some money on the last card of the year. Going to do my best to make that possible for you guys. Not been a great year on my end, but at the end of the day, boys, every single to this card coming up. And for a fight night, it's actually a good card, you know. I think they've closed the year on a bit of a bang. And we'll get straight into the card. Let me bring the first fight of the night up with you. And we can go in. So, yeah, we want that view. All right, so first fight of the night, Piera Rodriguez versus Josephine Knutsson. Like I said, boys, if the internet is fucking up, I'm really sorry. There's nothing I can do, but yeah, I did a little post earlier on Twitter, and I said, you know, if these girls stand on the feet with Josephine Knutsson, they ain't lasting. Well, they might last the decision because my girl can't put away her trash, but they're not going to last to a winning judge's decision because Josephine Knutsson is very legit on the feet. She trains with the best women's fighter in the world, Smila Sundell, a 20-year-old Smila Sundell. And she's a phenom on the feet, you know, very, very good Muay Thai striker. And I believe that Piera needs takedowns in this fight. I think everybody believes takedowns in this. Everybody believes she needs takedowns in this fight, I would assume. And it's just if she can get them. To be honest, I do think she'll get one or two. You know, she always pursues grappling. If you go back and watch her fights, I don't think there's been a fight she hasn't really pursued grappling, to be honest. So she will shoot takedowns. Now, is she going to get them on Josephine Knutsson? Josephine Knutsson doesn't have the worst takedown defense of all time. It's just that when she does get grounded, she seems like she's a little bit of a fish out of water in that regard. I think Piera's got a decent chance to win just based on that. So money line wise, I think maybe it could be a little bit wide. I mean, minus 240 range, but I do think Josephine's going to win the fight. I think they score damage a lot more than control at this point in time. Josephine looks like maybe she doesn't have the best get-ups, but I don't think she has the worst jiu-jitsu of all time. She can neutralize girls in certain positions like we saw with Palastri last time out. She did reverse Palastri in that fight as well. Not saying Palastri is super high level herself, but, you know, she's been around MMA for a long time, Palastri. So even though she showed some bad things on the ground there, she also showed a couple of good things, couple of sweeps and stuff like that, reversals, etc., as I mentioned. So I think she's getting better with it. I'm going to say she wins the fight. If you take a shot on Piera Rodriguez, I'm not going to scream at you. I understand the thinking. I just do believe that Josephine probably puts it on her a little bit, and it probably outweighs the control here. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Josephine Knutsson decision. What do you reckon, bro?
Yeah, I actually think Josephine got really good hips. Like, she's got good takedown defense on the first level. Palastri did a good job of doing a few things to get her to the ground in the last fight that I don't think Piera will do the same. And I just think that her on the ground, like you said, she did a few good things. I felt like in the first round, you know, she only gave up 21 seconds of control versus Palastri. She got her feet right to the hips. It was early on. It was a really sustained grappling pace from Palastri, who's a good fighter in her own right. I think a bit better than Piera Rodriguez. And I guess how I'm gonna just look to play this is probably I don't think she finishes Piera. Like if this fight was to finish, how does it even happen? Is the Piera sub? I don't see that. Josephine definitely ain't gonna submit her. She'd have to hurt her like really, really bad. And then yeah, maybe Josephine knocks her out. Like that's the only thing I can see. But I think Piera is tough enough, and I don't think like at women's MMA I'm gonna be betting on the knockout. So yeah, Josephine Knutsson by decision, if anything, for me. Maybe I'm looking at it over. I don't want I get what you're saying. The line might be wide, but just my prediction on the fight is Josephine wins. Like you said, I think she got the better striking. I think she's going to be able to defend the wrestling, and if she gets wrestled, I don't think she's going to get submitted. So I think she gets back up, and then I think if it does go to the judge's decision, the damage is going to like outweigh the control. So I guess there's a path for Piera, but it's too thin of a margin for me to go with her. I'll go like with your path, Josephine decision.
I personally played Josephine decision. So like even if I think the money line's a little bit wide, I still may look to play the favorite in some form of prop. You know, I did it last week with Randy Brown and Brian Battle. I thought the money line was a little bit wide, but I actually played Battle to win in round 2 or 3 because I had liked that better than the Randy Brown money line. I feel like they both showed themselves to be good bets, even though they both didn't cash. So that's what I did this week. You know, I do feel like the money line could be potentially a little bit wide, but I actually like the decision play a little bit. So, you know, maybe I add that to a little parlay or something. I'm not going to write them down right now because my computer's mucking about, and I don't want to overload the system. But
do you want me to write them down? I could write it on my phone.
Yeah.
And like a note.
Yeah. So I like Knutsson decision. I like Knutsson decision. I think at the moment, I don't know what it is. Minus 140, I believe. I like that.
All right. You want me to? What book are we using? Bet Online still?
I don't know, man. Whatever, man.
All right, we'll stick to Bet Online. All right.
Yeah, but Bet Online's too volatile, man. Because like, if I play the decision on Bet Online right now, it will go from minus 150 to minus 200.
All right, then I'm gonna use DraftKings. That's literally the book that's promoted by, UFC. Right? Like, let's just go with that one.
Bro, Bet Online changed their lines for $50, man.
Yeah. No, I understand. DraftKings isn't too far off, but it's a bit better. Let's work with it. Let's see what they got.
Okay, sweet. They're saying you had a real good cleanup. You're looking good. You got the house now. You finally bought a house with the parlay money. Finally bought a house. He's not outside in the streets anymore. And
it's a fake one.
Finally bought a razor as well.
Fake news.
Finally bought a razor and clippers.
Well, no, on what is it on bet? Because on DraftKings it's minus 175, bro. Like that's what I was trying to say.
What about Bet Online?
Bet. That's what I'm saying. Let me look on fight odds.
I mean, if it's moved that much, it's moved that much. Just
right. No need to force it, but let's just see.
Yeah, have a look.
Okay, yeah, it has moved that much. It's minus 170 now. Earlier in the week, if you got in on it, though, I don't hate it. So I'll probably look to just pass on this fight. The over 2.5 is literally minus 500, bro. Like Josephine money line, maybe?
Nah.
No? Okay, cool. Let's go on to the next
Not
fight,
me
bro.
personally. It's cool, man. We can leave her out. Mike Strachan says he loves us. So we love you too, brother. Or at least I do. I think JB would as well. Shout out to Luke, sparring with reality. Shout out to Uncle Weezy. We've got the boys in the chat. 172 live views already. Shout out to every motherfucker. Morning, boys. One more sleep. Yes, sir. I would go down on both of you boys this afternoon. Wow, do you guys look handsome always or just for the stream? Usually always. But
hey, I don't play that. No, I wouldn't know.
Oh, it could be a woman.
Oh, no. Okay. I guess so. Yeah, you're
Why
right.
is it not? Why could it not be a woman?
You're right. Fair enough.
If I'm I've been called handsome many times, and 90% of the time is been by a woman. It's been by a woman. So I just
you could come through and shit. What does Joey Diaz say? Sakala mink.
Yeah,
you know Joey Diaz, right? Oh man, my dude's internet. You gotta hit up Comcast like that, or whatever, man. What do they got in Britain?
All right,
man?
next fight.
Oh no, it's
Davey
New
Grant.
Zealand. Oh my god, dude.
I know Joey Diaz.
Sheesh.
Joey Diaz.
All right, you're good now. You're back. You're back.
All right, all right, all right. Davy Grant versus Roman Tavares. Yeah, what can I say, man? Good fight. Good fight. I think both fighters are going to chuck lever in the pocket. I think at this point in their career, Roman Tavares has decided. It's interesting to say that because, David Grant, way better competition, fought better with way better people, beat way better people. Marlon Vera win back in the day. Adrian Yanez split decision, lost close to win. I mean, even win against Jonathan Martinez, like high-level competition, man. And you look at Tavares and the guy's getting fucked up. Well, the guy's having some bad moments against not the best fighters in the world, right? Even beat by some of them. So it's like, it's interesting for me to pick Taveras, but I just feel like stylistically, this is Taveras. I did bet Taveras earlier in the week. I think that Davy Grant, coming off the layoff, coming off the surgery, being cracked in multiple fights, the way he fights where he just walks into range, I think Taveras is going to be able to slip and rip. I think Taveras is going to be able to land some good shots in the pocket. And if his chin holds up, which is always a liability, I think he's going to win the fight on skill. Kind of like how Yanez did against Grant. I know it was a very close fight. What about you, bro?
Oh man, what is that picture for Davy Grant, dude? Like, why does he look like that? Dude's like cheesing to the gills. He is so happy to get into the ring.
Yeah,
Like
he's
my
happy, bro.
dude's hyped up, and then Ramon Taveras, the Savage, he's just screaming over here. I think this is a good fight, man. Davy Grant, obviously the older guy. His record, like, if you look at it, you wouldn't think he's that good of a fighter, but he actually has pretty good skills. He's fought like the higher level of competition than Ramon Taveras, who's only fought guys like Cortavius Romeus, who I don't know really how to rate. And then like obviously the fight versus City where he got dropped, and obviously he won the second fight, but it's been close fights. I can see this one just being like I think Taveras is good too because Davy Grant, he could be hurt. I don't think he's ever been knocked out, but he's been submitted a few times. Taveras got an underrated ground game, but I don't think he submits him. It's possible either guy gets knocked out, but I actually think this is probably another decision, and I think it could be a split decision as well. I guess if I have to lean aside, who's the underdog right now? Because I think it should be a pick 'em. In all
Yeah, I
honesty,
think it might. I think it might be now.
if it's a pick 'em, then I probably just pass. Like I don't see any value in it.
Yeah,
But
it's a pick 'em on the book I'm looking at anyway right now, bro.
honestly, that's where I think it should be. If you got some value early in the week on Davy Grant, I guess it's good. And if I have to pick a winner, I'll just say Davy Grant because I think he could implement low kicks. I think he could use his boxing, and I think Taveras can be hurt, and he
Yeah.
could win a decision. The thing is that I worry about is he throws a lot of looping strikes. It's a little bit of an awkward style. So while on one end, like that could be tough for Taveras to deal with, he might be able to land his counter shots. It's possible. I'm not feeling like heavy on anything really this early in the card. So
Fair enough, bro.
yeah,
It's all good. I'm on Tavares' side. We'll see how it goes. Josephine under 1.5. Yeah, that seems all right. Like, I
I
don't
don't
think
think
she'll
she's
get
gonna
two.
shoot.
No, like maybe she gets one on like some reactive counter grappling scenario, but like two is a lot, man. Two is a lot more than one in that type of fight. Locksmith, it's a woman spent too much in time. Bro, perception is reality, and I'm perceiving a woman to call me handsome right now. So when I walk out in the street, one will happen. That's how life is, bro. A little hack to life for you. My man saying, why am I charging for my Telegram group? Should have kept it free till next year at least. So, boys, this is a good time to plug my Telegram group. I got the basketball group. I got the NFL group. Yesterday, I made it paid. Why did I make it paid? Because we crushed CLV on 95% of plays, because we're up 20 plus units in 3 weeks, because the ROI is 20 plus % in 3 weeks, giving out about 100 free bets so far over a 3-week period. They've been destroying it. This is gold dust information. And the people that supply me with the information, my network of sports bettors all over the world, they ain't going to keep doing it for free. So if you want to make money on basketball and NFL, I haven't really put the links out there to the public, but you can DM me and I'll send you the link. And the price is extremely generous for the information. It's literally the best information in the world. So, yeah, going to keep crushing. And you're welcome for the free group over the last month and just giving you 30, 40 units completely for free. Riding high, 7:30 a.m. in New Zealand. James be setting his alarm. Yeah, you already know. So today, boys, I'm going whitewater rafting, yeah? Whitewater rafting 4 hours outside of the city. So I have to wake up early because I was going to have a lay-in today. But I have to wake up early because I'm driving 4 hours out of the city to go to this massive fucking like lake whitewater rafting place. But I wanted to do Parlay Madness before you. JB couldn't do it yesterday, so this was the only day. So I woke up an extra 2 hours early today just to do the Parlay Madness. So I hope everyone appreciates it. I made it here. I got my tea, 7:30 a.m. I've been up since 6 a.m. getting it all ready. And yeah, looking forward to that later, boys. I don't know if you've been whitewater rafting, but this has got the biggest drop in the world. It's a 7-foot drop. So that shit should be fun. I'll try and post maybe a video or two if I can on Twitter or something. Sue's saying, need your advice about Davey Grant Taveras. We already did that. Davey, major neck surgery at 38. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Roman hasn't fought a fight. Yeah, look, there's both sides we can look at it. Honestly, both sides we can look at it. But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. All right, we'll go next fight of the night. Is there a way I can just click next fight? I don't think there is. I got to go all the way back into the event.
And then get spammed by 20 ads because Tapology.
Tapology is annoying. Bro, I'll let you take this one away. I don't have too much to say, man. I think Michael Jackson. I think Michael Jackson's the better fighter all around.
That's not the next fight. Hold on.
Oh, Maverick. Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
You should just be able to click next, right?
Right.
Like I said, boys, I'm going whitewater rafting means I have to be quite fast. So we're going to have to speed up a little bit on this one, JB. I want to probably finish the entire card in the next 30 minutes. So it's not long. So I'll be real quick on this one. Give us like 10 minutes at the end for a parlay or some shit. So, yeah, I'll be quick on this one. I think Maverick's going to dominate her. I played Maverick last week at like minus 250, I think she was. Obviously, she's blown out like crazy line at the moment. I put her in a parlay with Cyril Gane, so that was a terrible bet. Cyril Gane, hold my hands up there. Volkov betters, very sad for you guys. But, I'm happy to get some variance going my way. Like this year, it's been around 90% the other way. Good bets that didn't cash, so I'll take a bad bet that did cash. Got her in a parlay with Maverick. Maverick closes out the parlay. Wouldn't probably bet Maverick at 600 just because it's just a bit. It's a big price. I think she probably deserves to be around there. Not necessarily finding too much value at that line. But I think at 250 she was fine. She's just a better all-round fighter. I think she's better at every facet of MMA. I don't think there's anywhere in MMA she's worse, even physicality, strength, honestly. This is a massive step up in competition for Horf. Horf is the older girl by a long way. Maverick is 27 years old. She feels 37 because of the way she's been fighting for many years. She's 27 years old and she may not even be in her prime yet. Maybe she comes into her prime in a couple of years, still 2-3 years away, which is kind of crazy. So yeah, man, I like Maverick. I've spoke to her personally. I've donated to her. I actually donated to her wedding at once upon a time because she won me like 50 grand about 4 years ago. So, with that money I donated to, I don't even think I posted it online, but I did. So I like Maverick a lot. She's a nice girl. And I think that she's just way too good for Jamie Lynn Horf in this fight. I think submission is possible, but I think more than likely a decision win. What about you, bro?
Yeah, I'll just probably be the one of those people that plays the submission bet and then is mad that she doesn't get it because like Horth just does everything just to survive, right? But if she's like that much better in the jiu-jitsu, then she should probably be able to catch her. She's like a legit brown belt, and some of the mistakes that I saw Horth make in the last fight was like blue belt level, and you can take her down. She's been taken down like in all 3 UFC fights. She's had suspect grappling in the past, and like. At 34 years old, is she going to be improving? No, there's no way. Miranda Maverick's going to be the one that's improving. She's like I could see her getting the submission here and then getting her like awarded her black belt, right? Like she said it after the last fight that she was upset that she didn't finish. I'm sure like you can't really take based what off the fighter says, but she says that she's looking for the finish here. And honestly, she should be able to finish Horth here. If she don't get a finish on Horth, like that's a really bad look. I remember like back in the day when she fought Shanna Young, a lot of people were probably on like the Miranda Maverick ITD. But now it's just to the point where like she hasn't gotten the finish in so long where people forget that she's actually a legit fighter. She's got good jiu-jitsu. So yeah, I think she gets the sub here. I know a few like our guy Couch Warrior played the TKO at like a really wide number, but I don't know. It's WMMA and this year there hasn't been a lot of women's like subs. I looked at some of the numbers on flyweight and like historically this year it's at like an all-time low. So yeah, like my man Yanni says, maybe it's got to go back the other way. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I like the sub. I like the sub. I think Horth sucks. I think she sucks on the mat. I think she's outgunned on the feet here. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the sub and just it's just such an advantage on the mat. And she's more position over submission. But like go back to that Sabina Mazo fight. The way she just kind of wrapped up the neck was pretty slick. She advanced position on Cachoeira and just dominated her to get the armbar. I could just see her finishing here with something like an arm triangle or a rear naked choke. She's gonna beat her up, and then like Court's gonna give up the position, or she's gonna catch her in a scramble. Like that's another possible way it could happen. But
I feel it.
Yeah, I don't know. Hort's tough. I give her some credit, but I don't think she's good.
No, she's not. I feel it. I feel this. I feel the sub. So I've only played Miranda Maverick inside the distance twice, and it was the 2 times she got a UFC finish. So I'm 100% batting on Miranda Maverick finish rate at the moment. I bet Marzo.
Do you want to risk that? Do you want to risk that record on this fight?
Yeah,
That's the question.
That's what I mean. So I said that. I say that to say this. This is the only other one ever that I've looked at to play the ITD. I've never even been interested into ITD, except for 2 other times. They both cashed, and this is the 3rd time I'm ever interested. So that could be pretty bearish, as Luke says, you know. So I don't know if I'm going to play it myself. I may do. After whitewater rafting, I'll kind of clear my head like my man Riding High said, and then, you know, maybe the waves will tell me something. And that's 100% true. And, you know, it ain't a stream unless I go off on a tangent. Boys, I know you see me in the casinos. I know you see us in front of a computer screen. Get out there in the world, man. Get out there, like do surfing. Like I love surfing like that. I don't surf, but I love surfing. I have before. I definitely want to start surfing. Get out in the real world, because you know this online shit, that's not where the true happiness comes from. The true happiness comes from outside in nature. So you already know. Mad. The 3 foot drop still kind of mad, but yeah. Oh, I'm excited, bro. Thank you, bro. Thanks for letting me know that it was one of the best times in your life. Yeah, I think Baby Sharp's talking about the Volkov one here. Sue's better skip this fight. Maverick has very bad luck. Oh, damn. She's got very bad luck, does she? Okay. It's the year of the minus EV. Does seem like that, to be honest, man. Does seem like that. But yeah, Mo Miz, my Jewish brother, the boys are back in town. You already know. Touch grass isn't just a saying. Yeah, exactly, bro. Like touch grass is so legit, man. All right, we'll go to the next fight. And this is the fight that I was on, right? Michael Johnson versus Ottoman Azaitar. Yeah, I'll be quick on this one.
Miles Johnson, Felipe Lima, it should be.
Oh, why does it keep on skipping to this fight, bro?
You got to scroll down. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
No, you're good.
I think Felipe Lima is a really high-level skill set, so I think that that's going to get him over the finish line, even though it's not ideal circumstances, again, in his weight class that he isn't accustomed to. Obviously, Johns is also not accustomed to that weight class, but it doesn't mean it's a positive for Lima. It's probably better than the Naimov fight, though. And again, I don't think he's had a full camp for this fight again. So, yeah, it's not ideal circumstances yet again, but he got the win for me last time out, submission free. I know a lot of the people were on that. I was on that as well. So that was a great cash. I think I gave it out on stream as well. Someone mentioned it in stream, actually, in the comments. And then we spoke about it, and I really liked it. And then I bet it, and then a lot of other people.
I think it was a capping service.
Yeah, it could
Somebody like
maybe.
that.
Shout out to Captain Service or whoever mentioned it. So yeah, that was a great cash, community cash as well. So that's always good. I think he's gonna do similar again. I think he's gonna get a finish in round 2 or round 3. That's my prediction, man. John's gas is out when he's pressured, when he gets hit. The thing is, he's got like big power and good wrestling, and he's quite fast. So on his feet at least, not really with his strikes. So he's able to kind of like deter people and stay away from people with the feet. But if you can pressure him, poke at him, keep landing strikes, disrupt his rhythm, I don't think he likes it. He seems to crumble, break in there a little bit. And Felipe Lima, I think he had a kind of a poor performance, even though Naimov's a tough stylistic matchup. It was still a bit more of a poor performance. I wasn't expecting, like I played his money line as well. I thought he would be looking better going into round 3. I felt like he was losing that fight, even though the scorecards were kind of all over the place. I felt he was losing the fight, but I do think that that's down to it being his UFC debut. And obviously he was coming on short notice and stuff like that. UFC debut, UFC jitters are super real. We've seen Carlos Ulberg get knocked out by Kennedy and Zechikwu. He would maybe be the minus 600 range against Kennedy these days. Same thing with Daniel Zellhuber lose to Trey Ogden. He would probably be around the minus 600 range. So the only reason those two lost is because it was their debut. And I do think that Lima showed a poor performance, even though he won, because it was his debut. So I think this time out, he's going to show a better performance. And if he does, I think he's got what it takes to beat Miles Johns, a bantamweight up at featherweight here. I think inside the distance for Lima, round 2 or round 3. What do you reckon, brother?
Yeah, how do you think he gets it done? Because I seen something on film, like Lima likes that flying knee, bro. I seen Johns knocked out by that exact same strike. He said in the corner, they said to him, he leans in, just throw the flying knee. I could see Lima catching it with that. He literally, I've seen fights where he throws it, like he spams the flying knee. He just spams it. So it's one of his like best moves. He's actually gotten a knockout by flying knee before, so it's definitely possible. He's been to decision before as well, so I wouldn't be shocked if this was like a 29-28. And Johns is a smart fighter. When he like made the move to Marathon MMA, that like he made a big improvement there. I remember everybody and their mother was on Dan Argueta, and I said, no, I think Miles Johns has a chance to win this fight. Like I was dead set that Miles Johns had an opportunity. I thought the improvements that he would make were there, and I beat the market because he was a big underdog that week, and he cashed for me. So shout out to Miles Johns. I actually was able to like see him live too. He got a big knockout versus Dos Santos at UFC 265, and then he gave me like a fist bump, bro. I felt that dude's chin sweat. Whoever that random guy he knocked out was, Dos Santos, that guy, his chin sweat was right on that glove. I was like, damn, this dude Miles Johns is a beast. But he is super short. What do they list him at? Like, he's got to be like 5'3", bro. I'm not even joking. 5'7", yeah. Ooh, interesting. Yeah.
He's taller.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Lima's 5'6", so they say Lima's shorter. So these guys are both small for featherweight. I don't know exactly like who it's going to benefit more here. So a little bit of extra volatility there. And I've cashed on Johns as an underdog before. My worry with him is his durability. He's been he's slowed down later in fights, but I don't know if that's going to be the same at 145. Like either he's going to carry that extra weight and the cardio is not going to be there, or he's going to have like less of a weight cut and it's going to benefit him. So Lima, I think, I know Lima could go for all 3. So obviously he should be the favorite, but I think it's closer to like a minus 160, bro. What about you? Like, you think that's fair?
Yeah, probably wide at like 300 range or whatever. I just think he's going to win, man.
Okay,
I just think
fair enough. I wouldn't parlay it. So just to make sure, because we're just breaking down the fights and we're not putting in any legs. What do we like so far? Like for bets.
So all right, we got to be quick, bro. I like Knutsson decision. I don't know if I'll play it. The overs are 2 juice minus 500.
Okay, so then
maybe I like Roman Tavares money line. I like Roman Tavares KO. we can check the lines after. I like
All right.
Maverick submission.
It's plus 500. You like that?
Yeah, we'll check the lines after, bro.
I don't
I
mind
like
that.
Maverick
Okay, just making
submission.
sure you're good.
They just be quicker. And then I like Felipe Lima round 2, round 3, or Felipe Lima inside the distance.
All right. Well, we can't
I
use
think
2, 3. We have to use
yeah,
one of them. Yeah.
I think more likely it will be a TKO.
Okay.
Although someone mentioned sub is plus 650, which again I do
I don't
think
hate it.
is a little bit too much, but I think more likely TKO, and that's all we're up to at the moment.
I'm gonna call flying knee. That's my call. All right. Next fight, bro.
Okay, Sean Woodson Padilla. You want to go in on this one, bro?
Yeah, dude. I like Fernando Padilla here. I know he's a bit of a popular underdog this week, but I do think his style could give Woodson some problems. He's also like the tallest fighter that Woodson's fought. But a lot of people also don't mention that Woodson's also one of the tallest fighters that he's got to be the tallest fighter that Padilla's fought in that own right. But Woodson uses that length to his advantage a little bit more. Padilla's willing to get into the fire. I know he lost to Kyle Nelson. Like that was a bit of a weird loss, and like he definitely had a UFC check that it was a check there. You know what I mean? It was a veteran lesson. I think Sean Woodson's. He's shown me a bit of like IQ mistakes and just bad chin out there, like in the Saldana fight. He got beat early, like by Julian Erosa, and Sean Woodson was a massive favorite in that spot. So he's lost as a favorite before. I've had a good read on the guy. He almost lost as a favorite in the last time out. And he's always in these super close fights, bro. I remember we cashed on him at UFC 297, and we almost hit a massive banger of a parlay, bro. Had Patterson just waited one round to get the submission.
The one that got away.
We would have hit like a 220 or something. And Woodson was in a close fight that night too, and he almost blew it at the last second with a guillotine. I just think Padilla has a lot of finishing potential. I don't think he has like grappling upside in any sense, but I could see Woodson shooting bad takedowns just off of pressure. The one thing I wish he did like better, Padilla, would be like to clinch his opponents up against the cage or just mixing grappling, cut off the cage when he's striking. He's just like kind of linear and come straight forward. I do think Woodson could counter him, but I don't think Woodson's going to hurt him. Woodson's path in this fight is to weasel a decision like he's done time and time again in the past. Every time Padilla loses, it's by decision. So, Padilla, I think Padilla inside the distance could be a good look as well. I think he could TKO and hurt Woodson, but I think what's more likely is he wraps up that Darce like he did against Pajuelo in the last fight. And sometimes I don't like to take it 2 times in a row because it's like, damn, Padilla got the sub. Now people are looking towards it. But sometimes you hop off the train too early, and I do think it's possible. Woodson stuck his neck out there multiple times before. You just can't do that against a brown belt like Padilla. So, short price. I like this fight. I like Padilla. That's it.
Yeah, there's a reason he got a sub, right? Because he's good at submissions. So, like, he definitely could get another one. I like Padilla's submission here. I like Padilla money line here. You're saying that lots of people are on it and he's a popular underdog. Whatever. I honestly don't care. I didn't know, but I also don't care. Is what it is, man. You just got to do your own research, and whatever you come up with, you come up with,
I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I've seen people on Woodson too, so it's no big deal.
Woodson got a chance to win the fight. Of course, Woodson got the chance to win the fight.
Yep.
I like Padilla here. I think he's got grappling upside here. I think he has durability upside here. I think that he's got the line upside. I mean, he's the underdog. He's the younger fighter here. And, Woodson gets away on fights with slim margins quite often. And so that's another reason you like to back underdogs in his fights. Because, these fighters that win on slim margins, they're not going to keep doing it time and time again. I heard some people coming out the other day and saying, Evloev was value at minus 300 because he's always going to win the fight in a close fight. And, I actually coined that term about 5 years ago, saying that there's some people that always win fights, even if they're close fights. Because, about 4 or 5 years ago, people were like, if it's a close fight, then it's always a good bet on the other side. And I said, actually, it is often that, a fighter will always win a close fight, or more often than not win a close fight most of the time. And then what happened is over the last 4 years, that's just been completely blown out of proportion. Now everyone repeats the same thing, but there's always a middle balance, right? And at the end of the day, if your fighter is on close margins time and time again, they're going to lose one day. And I'll tell you that now. They're going to lose one day, right? And that's just a fact of the matter. And yes, Woodson wins these close fights often. He's not going to keep doing it forever. That's not how MMA works. That means that all it takes is one shot, literally one wobble, and he's lost the entire fight. You can't bank on that not happening, right? You can't bank on him not slipping over, and now he's given out the whole round because Padilla got about a minute of top control. So that is also another reason I'm backing Padilla here. I like him as the underdog, but we'll see how it plays out. Money line, I like money line. I like submission. So we'll add those two to the potential parlay pieces. Next fight is Drakkar Close, Joe Alvarez. I'll be quick on this one. I think Alvarez is coming into his own. I think, the only real massive weakness in his game is defensive, his defensive takedown, anti-grappling. Not even anti-grappling. He's very good grappler, but his takedown defense, his takedown defense is obviously a big weakness in his game. I think he often just lets his opponents take him down because he has a very good guard. He's got good guillotine, good sweeps, good triangle, stuff like that. But I don't think he's this amazing takedown defense guy, and he just lets everyone take it. He's probably shit at takedown defense combined with he just likes to be in guard, right? So people just take him down. Outside of that, man, he's a good fighter, but I can't really say much about him. I remember got his face jabbed off by Damir Ismagulov. That fight made him look really amateur and really poor fighter. But that was a long time ago, man. You're talking 4 or 5 years ago. He was like mid-20s then. He's 31 years old now, full prime. So I think that he's come into his own, especially in the striking. He's getting a lot of submissions back in the day. I think he's more of a striker these days. He's put it on fighters like Thiago Moises and Elvis Brenner, who can definitely be run over. They're not super high-level skill set. But Moises is a good fighter, but, he can be a little run through early, if he doesn't get his game going. But I just think Alvarez is too much for Drakkar Close at this point in his career. I think he's probably going to finish him. I know Close hasn't been finished that often. I mean, he hasn't lost that often, right? Hardly at all, to be honest. But I think Alvarez is the new age. And I think Drakkar Close is probably going to get finished by submission in this fight. What about you, bro?
I just don't want to be the one that's guessing if he's going to get knocked out or submitted. And, also, I've bet against Joel Alvarez before at this price tag. I had Mark Diakese, who I don't even rate that highly. I don't even think he's in the UFC anymore. And to be fair, I thought Diakese had the style to beat him. And he was kind of beating him until that awkward headbutt. Yeah. And then he kind of got him in the dark. So that was a bit of a bad thing. But, yeah, I like Joel Alvarez's, submission attempts. But they could, eventually wind him up on his back, and then he gives up control time. He winds up in bad positions. I just don't want to play, versus a guy who's, he's got 2 losses in the UFC, Drakkar Close. One to David Tamor way back in the day, and then a loss to Beneil Dariush, where it was a great fight. That's the fight where the announcers got, that was the meme, right? But, in his last fight, I don't think he looked that good versus Joaquim Silva, bro. So I'm with you. I thought he almost got submitted by that guillotine. Joel Alvarez probably finished that one. So I don't hate the sub look, man. I don't hate it. But I think he could hurt him too.
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm not saying that I haven't bet sub, and I wouldn't, because I think that TKO is just as likely.
It's like a coin flip. So I guess whatever has the better odds, really. And even then.
Think so. Submission does have the better. I think submission. I don't remember. Anyway.
So do you want me to check? Just go on to the next one.
No. It is what it is. Okay. All right. We finally. Wait, is this right? Yeah. Okay. We're finally onto this fight. Michael Johnson versus Ottman Azaitar. I'm going to be very quick on this one. I think Michael Johnson's the better all-round fighter. I think he probably wins the fight. Azaitar, I don't think he's a good fighter at all. But he does have a chance to win in round 1. I think this fight doesn't go to decision, -220. I like that. You can write that down as a parlay piece, brother. I also like the under 1.5 rounds at +115 if we want to get a little bit juicy with it and get some big price odds. So those are 2 bets that I like on this fight, boys. I do think Michael Johnson will end up finding the KO, maybe on a winded Azaitar in round 2, something like that. Maybe it doesn't end in round 1, but maybe round 2, Azaitar's tired and Johnson's just letting shots fly at him, kind of how he did against Alan Patrick, and finished the fight there, showing a superior MMA skill set. That's my prediction. What do you think?
I could see him also winning a decision. To be honest with you, like he just outpoints against Azaitar, even maybe takes him down like he did in the last fight against what's the guy's name?
Darius Flowers.
Right, that one. That guy's awful, and so is the Azaitar though. So like, I know we haven't seen it, but it's possible. He's shown grappling. Michael Johnson, he don't like the power coming back his way, and I don't blame him because he's been knocked out a bunch of times before. So if you told me Azaitar knocked him out in the first round here, I wouldn't be shocked. Like, I can't trust his chin. I know he's the better fighter, and usually I'm going to bet on the better fighter. I bet him against Alan Patrick at minus 150, and he won the fight pretty cleanly. And even then, my butt cheeks were clenched because it's just Michael Johnson, bro. You never know when it's coming. And Azaitar is dangerous. I know he hasn't fought in the highest competition, but I really don't want nothing to do with this fight. So,
Yeah.
which legs did you want to write down for it?
So I wrote the under 1.5.
Okay.
I think it's plus 120. It might have dropped a little bit.
Let's look.
I bet plus 115 actually, not 120.
Okay.
And then also Ottman Azaitar. Sorry, and then also the doesn't go to decision at minus 220. Those are the two I like.
Okay. Under 1.5 is plus 110.
Yeah.
And then what's fine. The other one?
Doesn't go to decision, minus 220. I'm going to go in on the Sterling Tukas fight, bro, just because I don't have too long, like I mentioned. So, yeah, like I said on my podcast, obviously, Navo Sterling's out here in the city I live in. Auckland is not far from me. CKB's down the road. I know his training partners, a lot of them. So I don't speak too much about the CKB boys. Obviously, I know how the camps go, and I know, like, you know, if anyone's injured, etc., etc. So I don't like to talk too much publicly. So I ain't going to say much. The only thing I will say is that I think that Navo Sterling's a way better striker than this guy, and I don't think Tukas has much grappling upside. So I think Sterling's probably going to land a shot at some point. He's quite patient, but he could also run through him in round one. I think they gets a KO here and, moves on to bigger and better things. I think they're obviously want him to get a knockout. He looks good. He's got a face, you know, he's got a look. He's from the New Zealand region. Like, they know what they're doing here, you know. So, I think Navo Sterling's going to get a KO. And, I'll get Navo Sterling on my podcast as well soon. So I better be careful I don't say anything too derogatory. But there's nothing to say here, man. He's going to knock this motherfucker out. So, yeah, I'll save that for another time when he actually faces a step up in competition, somebody on his level. I think he's just too fast, too clean, too powerful for this guy, to be honest. If it goes to round 3, though, I think that he probably doesn't look minus 300 or whatever, or minus 600 or whatever his line is. I will say that. Although he still could, because he's very patient. He can just outside kickbox him. King of the Ring champion, double champion. Not too much to say about this one outside of what I've already said. Navo Sterling KO, boys.
Do you want to bet that? Because I'm going to pass on this fight. I think Tukas got like a good Anaconda choke series. That's like the only way I could see him winning is if Navajo Sterling slipped on a banana peel. But that's like insane. So I'm not even going to bet this fight. And I'm not ever betting on a minus 900. That's just not happening.
900, yeah? That's mad.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So. It was 500.
Yeah, and then people parlay. That's what's been happening. And then, you know, the juice comes up and up. Nobody's going to bet Tukas. You know what Tukas means, right? It's an ass.
Tukas from Breaking Bad. Kind of looks like him a little bit as well, you know, like the white version or the Greek version. I don't know where this motherfucker's from. He's definitely not from
minus 200 on Sterling K, or minus 185.
Yeah. Fuck it. Write it down, man. He's knocking that motherfucker out, bro. Just pick winners.
Right, he's a minus 900. He probably should.
Adrian Yanez, one of the best fights on the card. I love Daniel Marcos. You know, I bet on him multiple times. I think he's a very good fighter. He's got very good eyes in the pocket. His striking is very elite. I just think he's the better striker than Adrian Yanez, to be honest. I think he's one level above Adrian Yanez. I think the knees, I think the clinch game is like all Marcos. I think he's way better in the clinch, way better elbows, way better knees. I think he judges range way better. I think his jab is way better. You know, people saying that Adrian Yanez is the boxer in this matchup. Daniel Marcos would jab Adrian Yanez's face off the planet. I'll tell you that now. Obviously, Adrian Yanez has good tight boxing when he gets inside, but he throws arm punches. They're not even punches with full rotation. He's just fast with them. So I don't even think he's like this fucking super elite boxer. I know that Adrian Yanez is a big play for a lot of people this week. You know, even Baby Sharp said earlier, he's the public dog of the week. Doesn't mean that it's not going to cash. It's just usually a lot of times the public dog doesn't cash. Look, man, I understand why you would bet Adrian Yanez because he's got way better cardio here. He's got good durability. I know he's been finished twice, but the guy is tough as nails for sure. And if it gets into round 3, this Daniel Marcos slows all the time. You know, I like Marcos, but let me not be biased, man. This guy in round 3 slows like a motherfucker. So if Adrian's still there in round 3, which I am predicting him to be, it could get a little bit sweaty in round 3, but I think he'll be 2-0 up in rounds at that point. And I still think he could win round 3. You know, he's won round 3s in his career before. There's no reason why he can't win a round 3 again here, especially since I do think he's just a level above. So, yeah, I just feel like Daniel Marcos' range control is way better. I think he can fight in all ranges. I just think he's a better striker, man. You know, I think this is a striking matchup, and he's a better striker. Like, there's not really too much more to say. I can break it down on why he's the better striker, and I do love speaking about striking. You know, striking was the first martial art I ever got into. I absolutely love it. You know, it stole my heart many years ago. I competed in striking many times. So I can go in depth on the striking, but at the end of the day, I just feel like Marcos is a better striker, and this is a striking fight, and he will win. Striking is volatile, though. Even if you're the better striker, you can still get knocked the fuck out. We've seen it many times in the UFC. So that's not to say that Adrian Yanez, as the inferior striker, can't land a heavy combination here, because he can. But I personally think that Daniel Marcos is going to win a decision at about plus 200.
His chat got me cracking up, bro. I think he can knock out Adrian Yanez, too. Let me tell you why. He's been knocked out in 2 of his last 3 fights. He's clearly got a problem with the low kick, and it's an electrical issue. I can't do anything about it, guys. I can't change it right now. You're going to have to deal with the beep. I don't really care. I think he's better at cutting the cage off as well. And I think when he pins Yanez up, it's going to be hard for Yanez to get some of the combos off. And I think he's going to be feigning him. He's going to be overstimulating like Yanez with a lot of these, feints, with a lot of the kicks to all 3 levels. He's got, like you said, crisp boxing in his own right, clinch strikes. He's got dangerous knees as well, like he showed versus Simon Oliveira. I don't really like what did Yanez's last performance show me? Not much because of the level of competition. And he's, more of a coach now, working with guys like Cam Smotherman. Obviously, Sal Solis, the godfather of Houston MMA. Rest in peace, was Yanez's coach. It's a big story. And, unfortunately, he had to, switch the gear from being just a fighter to a fighter coach. And that could give you some advantages in some points, but also now you got to focus. Your part of your career is coaching all these other people, whether it be amateurs, pros, and I just don't know. While Marcos is a dedicated fighter, he's never lost you a bet one single time when you've bet him. Maybe they screw you on the Arichi Lang fight, but that's it. So I like him here. I'm gonna go back to the well, but I'm not gonna pick a method on this one because I wouldn't be shocked if he knocked him out. And I like Yanez as a person and just a fighter in general, but he's outdone here in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with everything, to be honest. I do think he can knock him out. I just think Yanez is really durable, and I think people may be forgetting how durable he is based on the leg kick TKO, which I don't see happening here. It's a very specific, unique move, and leg kick TKOs basically, for the most part, only happen when you have an extreme specialist in that area. I mean, I can only really think of
Jonathan Martinez and Chris Gutierrez.
Outside
Benson
of that,
Henderson, maybe even
Alex Perez did it once against that Formiga, right? But outside of that, it's really just those 2 you mentioned. So really, it has to be on the feet. I think he's got insane head durability. I know he got knocked out by Rob Font. You know what? I could see more of a knockout here, a knee to the body. I genuinely could see that. Yanez is crashing range. He's been jabbed up. His face is bloodied like in the Randy Costa first fight. And then he just eats a brutal knee to the body because Marcos has very good knees. Marcos is like one of my favorite style of fighters. So I am biased. So, maybe don't. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. I have a theory. I think I match made this fight because Yanez made a post a while back saying who he should fight, and nobody mentioned Daniel Marcos. I was the only guy, and he liked it. So
such a great
for what it's worth.
Yeah, such a great fight. Coming like JB Shelby right now.
Yes.
Glad this goes back, boys.
That's what they call me, baby.
MMA.
That's what they call
Stacking
them.
Cream, got a question, Luca. Okay, so my man Stacking Cream talking about my tennis group. Is it over for the year? Yeah, we did a post in the Telegram. It is over for the year because there's no major tournaments in December that we want to bet on. We're back on January the 1st. We won 106 units profit this year in the Telegram group. So shout out to everybody in the tennis group. It crushed this year. You just joined lucrative takedowns, touchdowns for NCAAF and NFL. Yeah, we're branching out, boys. You know, many, many different groups. Obviously, I've done football in the past, horse racing, tennis, and now I've added basketball this year as well as NFL. So that's what you got to do when you're leveling up your betting operation. You know, like now I have 13 revenue streams rather than just one if you're betting on MMA. So that should be the goal of everyone betting, right? Like, obviously, we come in betting one sport for the most part. But when you get to a high level, then what you want to be doing is scaling your operation to multiple sports using the networks you have, using the connections you have, or using the experts you have in your phone book, in your network, whatever it may be. Because if you bet on MMA, that's one revenue stream. If you bet on 10 sports, that's 10 revenue streams. So yeah, moving on to the next one.
Wait, no. What are
Dustin
we writing down? What are
Jacoby
we
versus
writing down for
Vitor
the fight?
Petrino. Nothing to say about this one.
Wait, hold up. What are we doing for Yanez versus Marcos? Are we writing anything
I
down
like
for that?
Daniel Marcos. I like Daniel Marcos' decision. I don't like the lines in that one outside of Daniel Marcos' decision.
Okay.
Decision.
Okay. But what's the line on that?
Plus 190.
Okay.
Plus
I like
190.
fight doesn't
Plus
go, but I
190.
probably wouldn't put it in a parlay. So, all right, cool.
Yeah, fair enough. No, I can see both angles. I think in terms of value on any line, I think plus 190 on decision for Marcos, for me personally, is the best way to go about
Historically,
it.
Yanez has been pretty durable. Fair enough.
Outside of Yanez money line, every other line in that fight is like minus money. And I just think the type of fight it is, you kind of want to be on plus there, personally. I would have played, I was going to play Marcos at minus 150, and then he went to like 200, so I passed on it. All right, Jacoby versus Petrino. I'm going to pass on this one completely, boys. I think is a massive, massive pass fight. I think it could diverge into some. I think Jacoby has a chance to outpoint him here. This is a weird fight. I'm not going to waste your time on it. I don't know it. Boys, at the end of the day, man, some fights you look at, you're like, I just don't know what's going to happen. It's weird. The lines are weird. One fight is a massive favorite. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies. I don't want to bet on this one. I think GTD at Big Plus could be all right. Like, it's just a weird-ass fight. If I was playing anything, it would need to be big plus money on something. Whether you say Vitor Petrino KO, decision, or Jacoby money line, or GTD, or like whatever you bet on this fight, please make it be big plus money. Please don't be betting minus monies on this fight.
I got one for you, bro.
All right, I'm ready to hear it, bro.
This fight is going to go to a decision, and it's going to be a draw. Jacoby is going to get out-wrestled in the first round. He's going to get mauled by Vitor Petrino, just like Iwan Cutelaba did, and then he's going to get outpointed for the next 2 rounds on the scorecards. They might try to rob him and give it to Petrino, but I could see it ending by a draw, like huge plus money. There hasn't been a draw one time in 2024. So I'm going to call it right here. Petrino's going to, use all his energy to try and finish Jacoby in round 1. You just got to pray that Jacoby's chin holds up. It might not. He might get knocked out here by Vitor Petrino. Like, the dude's a huge power puncher. He throws meat hooks. He got caught in a bad guillotine last time, but I think the guy's a bit of a knucklehead, and I think Jacoby's a really good striker. Like, he's proven it time and time again. He's, a glory kickboxer, but it's the chin that doesn't hold up. And the later in his career, he's taken too much damage, and he's obviously slowed down. So I think Petrino wins the fight most likely, probably KO 1-2. But I think there's an outcome like big plus money. You want to just throw $5 on it, sandwich money. I think the fight could end by draw, and we got to get one before 2024 ends, bro. Come on.
Fair enough, bro. Fair enough, man. It's always hard to break down a draw. It's not like I can't see it, It's not like an impossible one. So, yeah, bro. Good luck. I'll leave it at that. This Indian from space is really, really annoyed at your beeping thing. You've triggered this Indian from space. All right. This is a banger, bro.
Yeah, do this one real quick. I'm going to grab a water.
All right, Manel Kape versus Bruno Silva. Boys, I'm going to go quick on this one, as I have been for a lot of them. Quick for me is still back in because I'm pretty sure I cut out. Okay, I think I cut out, but I think I'm back now. So yeah, I think that Bruno Silva is obviously, you know, a good underdog to bet just because oftentimes he has power upside in his fight. Oftentimes he has equalizer with the power. He has volatility, you know, a volatility attribute, which would be, again, the power, you know. So anytime he's plus 300, it looks like it's not a bad bet, right? And then on top of that, he has grappling. And oftentimes he's the better grappler in a lot of his fights, you know, maybe not the better wrestler, but maybe the better wrestler and the better. I mean, he's just good all round. And he has like, he can wrap up a submission fast. You know, we've seen that against Tyson Nam, and he can knock you out and hurt you badly. We've seen that against Tyson Nam, and we've also seen that again in his last fight against Durden. So those type of fighters are always good to back, and he's got great cardio. He's got good durability. So, you know, those fighters are always good to back as underdogs because they can like switch a fight in an instant, even if they're outskilled. Now, I do believe he is outskilled here. I think Manel Kape's range management is going to be able to help him defend the takedowns better than his actual takedown defense, even though that is still pretty solid. And I think it's got better over the years, especially since he's come into the UFC versus his Ryzen stint. And I also think that on the feet, he's just way better. I think he's way cleaner. I think he can line up his rear hand easily. I think the 1-2s are going to be there. I think he actually has a big chance of getting a knockout in this fight. I also think Bruno Silva has some inside the distance credibility in this fight. I like he doesn't go to decision. Massive plus money. Under 2.5. Massive plus money. You're talking almost plus 200 for under 2.5. Maybe it moved now. I don't know. I bet plus 195. I'm going to be honest with you. So yeah, that's what I like in this fight. I think Manel Kape round 1 KO is probably going to be round 2 KO is probably going to be my official prediction. At the end of the day, everything I said positively about Bruno Silva, he was getting battered on the feet by Cody Durden, and even in the grappling, it was a very bad look. I don't rate Durden on the feet that highly, and he got embarrassed a little bit on the feet by a wrestler. So that's not a good look, and I think Kape can do similar. Although I do think it was just an off performance from Bruno Silva. So that's my prediction of the fight. Kape KO. I like the unders. Yeah. What about you, bro?
I don't hate it at plus 155, but I do see a world where like Kape, he's just pretty low volume sometimes, and like he has to find that shot. He is explosive when he goes though. Like that Odie Osborne KO flying knee was really bad, and I've seen Bruno Silva do it time and time again where he seems outgunned in a fight and he finds a way to pull it off. I like that he didn't get finished by Tagir Ulanbekov, who I rate his submission skills pretty highly, but he's not like a striker like Kape. So, yeah, I don't know. Kape in his own right, he's got pretty good jiu-jitsu too. He was threatening from the bottom versus Makayev, who's a really good wrestler. So I don't think Silva's going to grapple like him for 15. But Silva's a black belt in his own right. I don't really have any. I don't see any value here, to be honest with you, because I can just see a Kape decision. But I don't hate the KO. Like my read is gonna be KO 2-3 for Kape. I think he finds him, maybe even a flying knee like he hit. I'm calling a lot of flying knees today, huh? I could see a flying knee.
I see both. I see both. I honestly, I see this one more than a lot. To be honest, bro, those flying knee calls, both of those fights, that's like. You know, it's so clear to see that you've done your research. It's so clear to see that you've actually watched tape. To call flying knees in both those fights, if anyone in the chat, because I know a lot of people just listen to us and they don't have time to do the tape, etc., etc. But if anyone else in the chat has watched tape, I think you can 100% like very, very closely understand the flying knee calls. I genuinely feel the exact same as you, even though I didn't say it, you know, in those two fights. I think flying knee is honestly great calls. And we got to get one out of the two at least, bro.
Can you bet that on BetMGM? Somebody in the comments let me know, because I know you could bet the Darstroke, which I could see Fernando Padilla doing this week. Wink, wink. But if you could bet a flying knee call, like, hey, I don't really hate it. I'm making a because he dips his head. And I could see him getting pieced up on the feet, and I could see Kape like just pinning him up against the cage, and he's super explosive, bro. And he throws it time and time again. So eventually he's going to catch somebody. I know Osborne's not that good, but Silva can get clipped, and yeah, That's
You
my
know
read.
what's mad about if you can bet the flying knee? How if you remember Miles Johns, he got flying kneed by Batista, but the KO actually came off the punches after. Like the ref stopped it after Batista like pounded him out. And imagine you bet the flying knee and then like the KO actually comes from punches.
Yeah,
Like
they're gonna screw you. Right.
you'll be so pissed off. Like I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying like I can imagine that how annoying that would be. It's like if you bet the Das and then someone rolls the Anaconda, which happened last week with Vicente Luque. I actually cashed on the sub there, and he actually rolled an Anaconda, right? But people that bet the Das, they actually cashed it because I know
Buffer
Andrew,
announced it as a Darce.
is that why? Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine you was on the Anaconda and you lost. Then does that mean that's crazy because it was actually an Anaconda? Luke's saying the Das is only 16-1 on Padilla. It's not great.
I saw it at 25-1, but okay.
At that point, you just rather go sub, right? Because it can be any type of front headlock, in my opinion.
I could see him guillotining him 100%.
Yeah, I could see a guillotine. That's mainly really what I was thinking. So all right, bro. Next fight, Cub Swanson, Billy Quarantillo. Again, I really have to rip through this couple of minutes maximum. So I'll be 60 seconds. Very, very good fight. I'll say a very good fight. Very interesting fight for me. I think it's going to be a banger. I don't think this fight could ever be boring. Look, at the end of the day, this is really what it comes down to. Don't overcomplicate this, boys. Do you think Billy Quarantillo has it in him to walk through the shots of Cub, close range, and get him in the clinch and start kneeing him? If you do, then he's going to win the fight. If you don't, then I think Cub's going to win. I ended up on the side of Cub Swanson. I said that I think both fighters are washed. And at this point in time, and please can you tell me the line before I finish the breakdown? Cub Swanson was an underdog, but he was only plus 125 for something when I looked at it. I'm hoping Billy Q got bet. I don't think he really did too much. I did want to play Cub here. I think that he can potentially keep it a range. I think he can knock out Billy. I think he can hurt Billy. I think the leg kicks are going to be there. Billy gets hit so much, and Cub Swanson, he's a very good hitter. And at the end of the day, I do think he's kind of tough, even though he's been stopped by body shots and he's looked a little bit flaky in some of these fights. I do still think he's tough, especially in against a fighter who doesn't hit hard. If he's a power puncher, okay, it's going to be a bit more scary. But Billy's going to try and drown him with pace and pressure. And I personally think Cub's going to get the W, but I could definitely see both ways, man. So that's my breakdown.
Yeah, there's Billy decision equity. He can grapple too. He is a black belt. He's got sub upside, but I don't think he's got the offensive wrestling. Like you said, it's got to be clinch. He's gonna want to dirty box him, and I think in that process, in that path, that Cub is the cleaner Muay Thai striker. I think round one he's got all the upside. I saw a slowed down version of Billy Q in the last fight, and say what you want, it could be recency bias, but it's just what I saw with my eyes, the eye test. So I think Cub with the Muay Thai striking is going to be able to catch him clean. And I know people see, Billy as the hometown guy, but that's just all narrative. I'm going based off what I see in the octagon. He's going to have to drown him and pace him in rounds 2 and 3. And I know you want to bet cardio, but Cub's got good cardio himself. And like you said, he goes down to the low kicks, hard power strikers, young guys like Giga Shikadze, dangerous strikers that throw kicks to all 3 levels and hurt Cub to the body. I could see Billy Quarantillo kneeing him to the body, like you said in the Yanez fight, and, damaging him that way. That's how he's going to have to really slow down Cub, because Cub can be hurt to the body. We've seen it before. He had that fight versus Crone Gracie. I know Crone Gracie didn't get finished there, but he got beaten his head upside every which way possible. Came back off of ACL surgery, and then, people thought maybe he's done, and he beats Daniel Pineda and finishes Daniel Pineda, knocks him out. Brutal. Like I said, yeah, the losses, but Darren Elkins finished him easily because Darren Elkins didn't have the striking. He couldn't get into that grappling exchange with Cubs. So I'll keep this one short and sweet. I agree with you, bro. I thought the Andre Feely fight was competitive. He beat Hakeem Dawodo. I thought he beat Feely too. So yeah, I'm gonna go with him. I like him by KO. What do you think about that, bro? Plus 450.
Yeah, I definitely could see a KO. I definitely could see a KO. Obviously, for me, I'd just probably if I was gonna play, I'd probably play money line just because.
Plus 126.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'd always play money line anyway. I might add the KO as
I'll write it down.
I'd add the KO as a singular shot. But in terms of I'd always put, if you're an underdog, I'd always put some on the underdog just in case,
Dude, Zalal hit him with a mean knee before he subbed him, which we were on.
Very true. All right, sweet. So
He
yeah,
gets
we
hit
was.
so much.
That was a good one. All right, main event of the evening. Colby Covington versus your Queen Buckley. Bro, how do I say your Queen Buckley? Because I said your Queen Buckley, and everyone was like, "Oh, I got the one comment
I
with a
guess
lot of like,
is it not Joe Queen Buckley or is Yo Queen, right? Yo
Yo
Queen?
Queen or Ya Queen." Why are people going crazy? Because I said Yo
Joaquin.
Queen, Ya Queen. Bro, there's like 4 different ones. What the fuck is it? I don't know, man. Fucking New Mansa, bro. Buckley, innit? Jesus. I think that Buckley, like, we have to read off like how many names are fucking from all over the globe, like every single week. Like, I'm surprised we
It's
don't do worse
impressive.
than we do. Joaquin. Okay, so it's married. So I said Joaquin, and apparently it's Joaquin. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I think Buckley's gonna beat Colby Covington. I think he's gonna fuck him up on the feet. I think Colby, would smash him like 5-6 years ago, probably. But obviously, this is a different level of Colby Covington at this point. Like you said, eye test. I don't think he looked good against Leon Edwards last time out. And I don't think Leon Edwards is a great anti-grappler anyway. I think that it was proven in the Bilal Muhammad fight. I think in the Kamaru Usman fights, that was also proven in the first and second fight. And then the third fight, obviously, Kamaru came in that fight. So maybe it was giving us a little bit of a false representation of Leon Edwards against fighters like, who can grapple him. So I don't think that Colby Covington looked good in that fight. I think that he's a bit old at this point in time. I think on the feet, the physicality is massively. I think Buckley's just too physical for him, basically. Even in the grappling, I think he's going to be able to shove him off. And I think once he shoves him off, like Colby ain't shooting these beautiful double legs from like out in the middle of the octagon. Colby ain't shooting amazing single legs. Colby's like pressuring you with punches, getting you up against the cage, ripping a single, maybe chaining to a double, but you probably defend the first one, even if you got shit takedown defense, to be honest. And then he gets the second one. Like, he's that type of fighter, man. He ain't like a Hamza. He ain't fucking sprinting at you and like super athletic in his double legs. Maybe when he was in college, people always want to say, oh, he's a high school, he's a NCAA wrestler. I was like, bro, that was fucking, he was like 17 years old, man. Like, Colby Covington's 37 years of age in a few months. Like, that's a long ass time since he was this athletic guy. I don't think he's athletic anymore. So I think he's going to be able to have to get close to Buckley. And I think Buckley's going to be able to stay away from him, at least early. And honestly, I think that's all he really needs to badly damage Colby Covington. Colby's never had the best striking defense. It's just usually he kind of is able to stay at range because people are scared of the striking, and then plus the volume there. So I like Buckley in this matchup. Nothing more to say about that, really. I think Buckley actually could land a KO in this one, to be honest, man. He throws about 8 punch combinations, which are really good. He hits hard. We know that. He's athletic, dynamic. He's coming into his prime, in my opinion, new weight class. And he knocked out Wonderboy in a fight that it was a very tough matchup for him. And that was a good win, in my opinion, even though Wonderboy's old. So is Colby. I think they're both washed. So, yeah, I like Buckley to win via KO. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, it just really depends on what version of Colby Covington shows up, in my opinion, bro. Because the one that showed up against Robbie Lawler, the one that showed up against Jorge Masvidal, albeit those guys were at the later end of the career, it's been a while since Colby Covington had to face like an up-and-comer, a guy that's hungry, a guy that's on a 4-fight win streak at welterweight. He's been on fire, so I think he could knock him out. I think he could even decision Colby Covington because historically Covington's been really durable. But yeah, I don't really see the point in parlaying Buckley here, and I'm not gonna just count on him to KO Covington because it's possible that Covington has some wrestling upside here, and he could just start to pace Buckley the later the fight goes. But I like what I saw back. I know it was at 185, but when he fought Imavov, man, Imavov hurt him so many times. And when a fighter gets damaged, that's usually when they get tired. And it was Imavov who got tired. He had done everything he could do to Buckley, and Buckley still was in there to fight hard. I know it was a 3-round fight, but he, started to put a pace on Imavov in that 3rd round. So Colby's really going to have a lot in front of him on his plate here. For me to want to bet him at an underdog, I don't know. And these main events are usually the most efficient markets, right? It's the one that the most money's on, the people are paying the most attention to. And I basically really don't see much value in it.
All right, nice, man. Done. We've done the entire card. Now we get to the most fun part, which is the parlays. You know, we've gone through and told you our parlay legs, the legs that you can use for parlays throughout the entire card. You can scroll back and listen to those if you want. For this one, I'm going to give out the under. I'm going to give out Buckley KO because I do believe that he does find the finish in this one. You know, which is interesting to say because, you know, Colby's a tough motherfucker and, you know, it's a massive step up. But at the end of the day, everything is about timing. And I do think that this is good timing for Buckley. So that's what I'm going to give out for this one. And I'm going to do my parlay. Do you know your parlay?
Well, I have two options. You don't like the Cub KO so much, right?
Yeah, I don't mind the Cub KO.
Well, on my show, Matzo Money, that I did yesterday, I don't know. I'm going to do the shameless plug, guys. Go follow me on YouTube, Jewish Better. I'm going to be doing a weekly show every week where I had two guests on yesterday, and we gave out a parlay at the end. It was Maverick inside the distance, Padilla inside the distance, and then Cub KO. It's like 122-1. It's not a bad look. Or the other one that I could think of that we really both agreed on was Maverick by sub and Padilla by sub. Those two together, and to be fair, like usually those are the best bets that I do on are the sub bets. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Maverick by sub is plus 500, and then Padilla by sub is plus 650. I will add those, and that's a JB special right there, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, all right, sweet, man. So I'll do mine. So the first leg is going to be Daniel Marcos via decision. That's plus 187. And then the next leg is going to be Joe Alvarez inside the distance. That's going to be minus 150. And then the leg after that is going to be Buckley via KO. It's at plus 175. It's going to come in at, for the free legs, it's going to come in at plus 1,215. So, yeah, that's my free leg parlay. So,
all right.
Have we got that? What was your one again, bro? Just tell the people one more time.
Let's write it down. I got Maverick by sub plus 500, Padilla by sub plus 650. That's going to get you 44-1.
Nice. That's a massive one, bro. Yeah, so mine again, boys. Daniel Marcos decision 190, 187. Joe Alvarez RTD minus 150, and then Buckley KO plus 175. So, yeah, that's it, boys. We've done the entire breakdown. JB, thanks for running through it super quick with me. Appreciate that. I know that I have to go, so
enjoy your day, bro. Hopefully I win enough money to fix my smoke detector. Wish me luck.
No, bro, at least it's, well, I don't know if it's working, but I guess that the sound means it's working, bro. So I know you like to smoke up. I know you like to smoke on all the packs that we be packing every single week. So you need a smoke alarm, bro, because
that Woodson pack and that Horf pack. Let's get it.
We feeling that Woodson pack and that Horf pack this weekend, yeah?
Yes, sir.
All right, say no more. So shout out to everyone in the chat. Appreciate everyone. My man, Grateful Dude, saying appreciate your breakdowns. Best of luck, all your bets. Yeah, let's go. Winner gets done. Mad by cheek certification. All right, we're going a bit mad now. People down on Colby because he's a dickhead. We're going up. Good luck, good luck, good luck. All right, boys. I'm going to be out, and I'm going whitewater rafting now. So I will chat to you in a few weeks, in a few days. I will probably do another stream I will do another stream at the end of the year. I'll put videos out. I ain't stopping. I'm still going to be putting videos out, still going to be doing streams, stuff like that. It just won't be the average UFC breakdown because we ain't got no UFC cards. But we got other stuff. We got other stuff. So, yeah, that's it, boys. If you want to sign up for the MMA, go to lucrativemmabetting.com. If you want to sign up for the basketball, which is killing it, or the NFL, we also have college basketball, college football. You can DM me on Twitter or on Instagram. I'll send you the links to join. I haven't made them public yet, but yeah, I'll send you the links to join if you want to do that. That is not ending. UFC is ending this week, but those are going on for months, especially basketball. So that's it, boys. Good luck on everybody's bets this weekend. Hopefully we can crush it, and I'll catch you in the next video, which won't be too long away. Bang.